Do you feel like you're getting too distracted when you're meditating? Or you're probably experiencing anxiety when you're meditating? You're probably feeling bored, feel like meditating is boring. Probably feel like, you know what, this is not giving me the benefits that I want. This is not helping me feel better. I want to feel better. That's why I'm meditating, but I'm not feeling better. I must be doing something wrong. I must be meditating wrong. That is why it's not working. If that's you, then I will share with you the 5 lessons that I've learned through meditating for 14 years every day on a constant basis so that you don't have to wait 14 years to embody these lessons, to embody these benefits, and so that you start experiencing meditation practice in your life. You integrate the habit and it becomes a wonderful source of empowerment for you, a source of joy and expansion and healing in your life. How does that sound? So stick with me and I'll share with you the 5 lessons. Lesson number 1. There is a gap. There is a gap between thought and thought. So you're meditating, you're closing your eyes, and then you're thinking, all right, I'm meditating, nice. Oh yeah, I remember I want a new pair of jeans. Yeah, they will match perfectly with my new shoes. I have new shoes. It's gonna be great when I buy those jeans. And you're distracted, right? You're thinking about the jeans, and then you inhale, and you just inhaled, and you just were present, feeling the sensation of becoming full with air, and then you exhale, and you release, and you feel the release, and then you go, yeah. And also, I want a jacket, and I also want a new. I also want to get a new haircut, and you start thinking again, right? But there was a gap. There was probably 1 second where your mind was not thinking. It was only present with your breath. You were only being. So you were experiencing a gap of no mind. And it lasted 1 second, but it existed. The key is to extend that gap because the longer, the better, right? That's what that's what she said. So the longer the period, the longer the gap of no mind, the more freedom you get. Because in that gap of no mind, no existence, where you're thinking no thought, from non-existence, everything can exist. I'm going to share with you an example so that it all comes lands in real life, because my own meditation practice started to develop more and more and more and more and more when I broke up with my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, because we did break up, right? So it's an ex-girlfriend that broke up with me, to be exact. She said, you know what? I no longer want to be your girlfriend. And I was devastated. And all I was thinking was, I want her in my life. I'm not going to be happy without her. The cool thing would be to have her back. When will she be back? I love her. I desire her. I want to have sex with her. I want to kiss her. I want to hug her. I miss her. When will she go back? Never. I'm so sad. I'm so small. She's so big. She's rich and I'm poor. That's why. I'm so sad. So look at all the thoughts that I was thinking. So I really needed to stay in that gap, because the longer I stayed in that gap, I was able to break that pattern, break that momentum of thoughts that I didn't choose, that I didn't like, that didn't help me, didn't make me feel better, but I was still thinking them. So the gap is the source of healing. The gap of no mind is the source of empowerment for your life, because from that gap, everything can arise. Not only your momentum, not only the things that you have been thinking that are normal for you. So that gap cannot stop existing. Non-existence always exists. Silence is always there. Spaciousness, emptiness, empty space. The cool thing is your natural state to be silent. The natural state of your mind is to be meditative state. Is that gap. It always exists. Even if you're thinking and thinking and thinking, you can always go back to that gap if you allow it to be there. So it's more like allowing, not like creating the gap, because it already exists. The universe is already so infinite, right? So that beautiful lesson is amazing to always remember. What I want is in the gap. Let me go to the gap again. Because if I'm not in the gap, I'm not able to create what I really want. Lesson number 2, the source of your suffering is nothing but your mind. The source of your suffering is nothing but the interpretations, the wrong, false, limiting interpretations of the mind, of your reality. So we believe that our suffering comes from what happened. But if in that moment that my girlfriend broke up with me, I would start thinking, this is for the best. She was no longer happy. I respect that because that is the best thing for her and for me. Because I deserve somebody that is happy with me, right? If I was able to see things as I see them now, I wouldn't have created all that suffering in my emotional body. So the suffering comes from the interpretations of your reality, not from the reality. And the more that you interpret, the more suffering you create, and the more suffering you store in your emotional body. The lesson number 3 is there is pain stored in your emotional body and in your physical body, in the cells and the energy of your atoms. So all the pain that exists in your physical body can be transmuted, like easily, if you start allowing the pain to be. The purpose of the pain, the purpose of any emotion, is to allow you to know your divinity. If it was not because of the emotions, we would not be able to know that we are divine. Imagine having no emotions, we wouldn't be able to feel the divinity within. We wouldn't be able to feel the love. We wouldn't be able to feel the abundance, the joy. And guess what? We can only feel love and joy because of the contrast, because of sometimes we're feeling rejected or sad, right? If we didn't feel sad, we wouldn't be able to feel happy. So all the pain that already exists and is stored in your energetical field can be transmuted, if you give it the opportunity to complete its purpose. And the purpose is allow you to know your divinity, allow you to feel your divinity. So the emotions that get stored in our energetic field, they only want to be felt. They only want to be honored. They only want to exist. And they get stuck, they get glued because we go, no, I don't want this emotion. Because sometimes it hurts so much that we believe it's gonna kill us. We believe it is actually dangerous to feel our emotions. We believe if I feel my emotion that feels so bad, it's not gonna be good. It's gonna kill me because emotions uh, also helped us to survive, right, in the past. So the interpretation is if I'm feeling the emotion, a wrong emotion, sorry, not a wrong emotion because all emotions are positive and are correct, right? Are valid. But if I'm feeling a challenging emotion, it must be because something bad is about to happen. I better not feel it. So by us starting to lose the fear of feeling the emotions, is that they can complete its purpose. And when they complete its purpose, they get transmuted. And all the pain, all the sadness, all the bad, challenging emotion gets transmuted like this, if you allow it. And you can continue creating more sadness and more pain and more rejection and more abandonment if you continue interpreting that what happened was not the best thing, right? So the mind creates the emotions, the challenging emotions, and then our emotional body stores the emotions because we resist them. So the key is to stop thinking, right? To be more in the gap of no mind. And so when we do think, we're thinking thoughts that we do choose, that we like, that makes us feel better. And those thoughts do not create suffering. And the suffering that we have, we allow it to be there. We transmute it by allowing it. Because honestly, all the challenging emotions, they are only here to help you. We feel like they are here to damage us. We feel like they are here to hurt us. And we feel like they are dangerous. But they cannot harm you, even if they can hurt. They can hurt, they hurt. They can harm your essence. Lesson number 4, your focus determines your reality. The more that you focus on what you don't want, the more that you experience, because the more pain you create, the more resistance you feel, and it all becomes awful. But if you focus your attention on your passion, on what makes you special, on what makes you shine in light, in joy, in expansion, on what makes you a unique, beautiful, gorgeous being that is helping other people realize, oh, you know what? It's possible to be that bright. It's possible to be that beautiful, to be that expanded, to be that loving, to be that caring, to be that vulnerable, to be that honest. Then you place more attention in your passion and in that which makes you feel love, a love for life. Then guess what? Your whole experience, just because your focus is there, your experience is that. Your whole reality shifts and you start living in a different dimension, in a higher dimension. You know the theory, infinite parallel dimensions? We shift from dimension to dimension second by second. So the more that you allow your passion to be a important part of your life, the more that you live in a dimension where everything unfolds beautifully and more synchronicities happen because you're already embodying that vibration of high frequency. And it's beautiful, by the way. Lesson number 5, your intuition knows best. When you're not thinking so much, you're able to connect with that voice, that inner voice. This intuition, sometimes people say that we connect to our higher mind, we connect to our higher being, a higher self. Sometimes other people say that the voice that we hear is from God. Sometimes it can be a voice from one beloved family member of yours. This voice can be from your archangels or from your spiritual guides. Doesn't really matter for me. to identify where it's coming from. I just know that it's a higher intelligence that is talking truth, that is telling me what's truth, really. And I feel it like truth. And it's a different sensation when I think this intuition. We all have an intuition. We are all intuitive beings. And this intuition is the voice that guides you. Is the one that for me we get to follow. And it's beautiful. Because the more that you listen to it, the easier it is to take it in consideration for your decisions, right? To follow it with your actions. And the more that you follow it with your actions, the louder it talks to you, because it's like if she knows, all right, he's listening, let me say more. It is always saying more. It is always there telling you things. So just be silent for a second and start listening to it. The higher your capacity to trust in your intuition, I believe the more expansive, more beautiful your life becomes. So I hope you really enjoyed the 5 lessons. I hope they were of good for you. Let me know what you think in the comments. And by the way, I am Juan Pablo Castañeda. I am a mindset and meditation coach, and I do have available spots at the moment. So if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, let me know. Click on the link below and fill out your application. Other than that, if you like the video, subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next one. Namaste.